In the annals of true crime, few cases have captivated the public's imagination like that of the Zodiac Killer. For decades, this elusive serial killer terrorized Northern California, leaving behind a trail of cryptic messages and gruesome murders. Join us as we delve into the dark and twisted world of the Zodiac Killer, examining the evidence, the suspects, and the enduring mystery that continues to haunt us today. The Zodiac's reign of terror. The first murder, the Zodiac Killer's reign of terror, began on the night of December 20th, 1968, in Benicia, California. A young couple, David Faraday and Betty Lou Jensen, were parked in a secluded area on Lake Herman Road when they were attacked by a gunman. Faraday was shot and killed instantly, while Jensen was severely wounded but managed to survive. The killer fled the scene, leaving behind no witnesses or clues. The subsequent murders over the next 2 years. The Zodiac Killer would claim the lives of 4 more victims. Darlene Ferrin and Michael Mago were shot while parked in a lover's lane in Vallejo, California. Ferrin died at the scene, while Mago survived despite being shot multiple times. September 27, 1969, Brian Hartnell and Cecilia Shepard were attacked while hiking in Lake Berryesser, California. Hartnell was stabbed multiple times but survived, while Shepard was killed. October 11, 1969, Paul Stein, a taxi driver, was shot and killed in San Francisco, California. The Zodiac Killer called the police to report the murder and claimed responsibility for all 5 killings. Modus operandi. The Zodiac Killer's modus operandi was consistent throughout his attacks. He typically targeted young couples parked in secluded areas. He used a gun, often a .22 caliber handgun, and shot his victims multiple times. He also left behind a series of cryptic letters and ciphers, which taunted the police and the media. The Zodiac's signature symbol, a circle with a crosshair in the middle, was often included in his letters and at his crime scenes. Cryptic letters and ciphers. The Zodiac Killer's letters and ciphers were a key part of his reign of terror. He sent letters to newspapers and law enforcement agencies, claiming responsibility for the murders and taunting the police. He also included cryptic ciphers, which he claimed contained his identity and other important information. To date, only 3 of the Zodiac ciphers have been solved. The most famous, known as the 340 cipher, was solved by a team of amateur codebreakers in 1969. The cipher revealed a rambling message that included the Zodiac's name, but the name was misspelled. The other 2 solved ciphers contained less significant information. Key suspects. Arthur Lee Allen. Arthur Lee Allen is widely considered to be the prime suspect in the Zodiac Killer case. Allen was a drifter and a convicted child molester who lived in the San Francisco Bay Area during the time of the Zodiac killings. He came to the attention of law enforcement after his fingerprints were found on a letter written by the Zodiac Killer. Allen also had a history of mental illness and a fascination with knives and guns. Evidence against Allen. The evidence against Allen includes Allen's handwriting was similar to that of the Zodiac Killer's letters and ciphers. DNA evidence found on a Zodiac Killer postage stamp was inconclusive, but it did not exclude Allen as a suspect. Allen's knowledge of the Zodiac ciphers and his ability to decode them suggests that he may have been involved in the case. Other suspects. Despite the evidence against Allen, he was never formally charged with the Zodiac killings. He died in prison in 1992, still maintaining his innocence. Other suspects who have been investigated over the years include Richard Gajkowski, a former San Francisco police officer who was investigated after his fingerprints were found on a Zodiac Killer envelope. Jack Torrance, a drifter and convicted murderer who was investigated after he claimed to have killed the Zodiac's victims. Bruce Davis, a member of the Manson family who was investigated after he claimed to have helped the Zodiac Killer. Unresolved mystery. Despite the many suspects who have been investigated, the Zodiac Killer's identity remains a mystery. The case remains open, and law enforcement agencies continue to receive tips and investigate new leads. The Unsolved Mystery. Reasons for unresolved identity. The Zodiac Killer's identity remains a mystery for several reasons. Despite the numerous letters and ciphers sent by the Zodiac Killer, there is very little physical evidence linking him to the crimes. The Zodiac Killer was never seen clearly by any of his victims or witnesses. The descriptions provided by survivors vary widely, making it difficult to create an accurate composite sketch. The Zodiac Killer's letters and ciphers were often coded or written in a disguised handwriting, making it difficult to identify him through handwriting analysis. Theories about motive and background. There are many theories about the Zodiac Killer's motive and background. Some believe that he was a serial killer who enjoyed the thrill of killing and the attention it brought him. Others believe that he was a mentally ill individual who was driven to commit violence by his inner demons. Still others believe that he was a political extremist who was trying to send a message through his crimes. Challenges faced by law enforcement. Enforcement agencies have faced a number of challenges in solving the Zodiac Killer case. The Zodiac Killer's victims were often young couples who were parked in secluded areas. This made it difficult for witnesses to come forward, and it also allowed the Zodiac Killer to escape without being seen. The Zodiac Killer's crimes received a lot of media attention, which made it difficult for law enforcement to keep the investigation confidential. The Zodiac Killer also used the media to taunt the police and to send his cryptic messages. The Zodiac Killer's crimes occurred before the advent of DNA testing and other modern investigative techniques. This made it difficult for law enforcement to identify and track down the killer. Ongoing investigation. Despite the challenges, law enforcement agencies continue to investigate this Zodiac Killer case. New leads and tips are still being received, and advances in DNA technology may eventually help to solve the mystery. The Zodiac's legacy. The Zodiac Killer's crimes had a profound impact on Northern California. The fear and uncertainty that gripped the region during the late 1960s and early 1970s is still remembered by many who lived through it. The Zodiac Killer's crimes also had a lasting impact on the way that law enforcement agencies investigate serial crimes. Enduring fascination. The Zodiac Killer remains one of the most infamous serial killers in American history. His crimes have been the subject of numerous books, films, and television shows. The Zodiac Killer's enduring fascination is due in part to the mystery surrounding his identity and the gruesome nature of his crimes. Placed in popular culture, the Zodiac Killer has become a pop culture icon. His image has been used in everything from Halloween costumes to heavy metal album covers. The Zodiac Killer's crimes have also been referenced in numerous works of fiction, including the film Dirty Harry and the novel The Silent Patient. Continuing efforts to solve the case. Law enforcement agencies continue to investigate the Zodiac Killer case. New leads and tips are still being received, and advances in DNA technology may eventually help to solve the mystery. The victims' families deserve closure, and law enforcement is committed to finding the Zodiac Killer and bringing him to justice. His victims' families and the public continue to seek closure, while law enforcement agencies remain determined to solve this enduring mystery. As we conclude our journey into the world of the Zodiac Killer, we'll reflect on the impact of his crimes and the enduring fascination with this enigmatic figure. Subscribe to our channel for more true crime, mysteries, and in-depth explorations of the darkest corners of human behavior. Together, we'll delve into the minds of serial killers, examine unsolved cases, and uncover the haunting secrets that lie hidden in our past.